Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be talking once again about Overwatch and my competitive endeavors. In today's video, I decided to look at some of my support gameplay, and this primarily focuses on Baptiste with a little bit of Moira. And this is not with the PTR patch installed, so shields are still pretty strong. Nevertheless, we got some Baptiste. And I apologize for not starting the video earlier when we took the first point. I forgot. And I was like, oh, shit. And right there we got destroyed by a Junkrat tire. I could have been slightly out of position, but with the Orisa graph it's kind of hard to get out of. And they might have coordinated that. We never know if the other team is using comms and how heavily they are communicating. In terms of my team, we were communicating. We would talk every now and then. I would do some call outs and such, but overall it was a pretty okay communication on our team's part. Here I decided to use my ultimate so that we could strengthen our projectiles. Sadly, the Orisa grav pulled them out of the actual damage boost. However, that probably killed the Orisa because she got them closer with the Deadeye. So yeah. Overall, I'm just kind of focusing a little bit on damage because so far right now, we got some picks, and we're continuing to get some really, high key picks. And it's not until then when I start seeing the critical symbol where I'm like, ooh, I gotta really start healing. Typically with my playstyle of Baptiste, if people aren't really taking damage, just swap to doing some damage because his gun right now, the lack of spread and heavy damage, it's really great. That right there was really bad on my part. I just walked Junkrat tire and you walk towards a group. But yeah, try not to do that. That was my bad. What was I saying? Oh yeah, Baptiste. He has really great damage, but his healing is also really fantastic if you can land his healing grenades. They have an arc, so you can kind of get used to them. Here I was really far back, so I was just like, I might as well start spamming them just to get some effect, and I think I got like 1 or 2 heals off. Zen decides to transcend. That was a poor placement, and I believe I'm going to die here. That was a really poor placement of my... Oh no, I don't die here. Maybe I was thinking of another game where I did something like that and I died. But always try to make sure wherever you're placing your amplification matrix that it is the right formation or right arrangement, horizontal or vertical. I think I just quickly double tapped Q and I didn't mean to. Here I got some nice headshots off the Orisa. I will say I kind of forgot my role as a healer in a part, slightly. I got a nice healing rocket, or healing grenade off that, but sometimes playing Baptiste or Moira, which you will see a little bit later on in the video, I can sometimes forget my healing duty, and I start damaging too much. Right there, my immortality field was a bad placement because it wasn't necessarily right behind, so always make sure to put it in the right place. Most of the time I put it in a pretty decent location, pretty safe location, but that I think I was just more worried that we got pulled out just to make sure if we weren't going to get like instantly destroyed or something along the sorts, especially me, because Baptiste grenades do not heal him, they only heal others, and you have to rely on your regen burst, which doesn't make, I mean, I guess it makes sense, but it's like, lore-wise, mechanically-wise, how does that work? How does the healing not heal Baptiste, but heals everyone else? Did they write that in the lore? Here, I decided to use it because Genji went in. Despite Genji's ultimate not being a projectile, we would have to follow up a little bit more with it, and considering the Orisa was still behind it, I thought that was good. Got some headshots off of the McCree, and killed him while he was dead-eyeing, so he wasn't going to come around the corner and use it, which is great for us. Here, the final point, whenever there's the final point, the final push, people freak out and they start, you know, panicking, and they're like, oh no, we gotta get on point. So they switched to Wrecking Ball, I think a Lucio and a Tracer, and a Moira. Heroes with lots of mobility. They have a May just to bunker on for a little bit longer. Really infuriating when the Moira comes. So honestly, they're not doing a lot of damage to us. I'm just trying to help out a little bit with the DPS. Healing where I can, putting my regen on people. And our Ana was really strong. So that was also really nice. While playing a support role, a healing role, oh, that was round complete. Now we're moving on to defense. And I will say, this section of defense was a little bit worse. We didn't have necessarily a decent grasp on defense. We had a much better time attacking. But spoiler alert, everything works out in the end. And this is nice reflection for me. As I was saying, while playing healer, you want to first see which support hero they're playing to kind of balance it out. If they're picking Moira, that gives you pretty free range to pick another healer that might be more of an off healer, like Lucio or Zenyatta, or Mercy. Even though Mercy is a pretty decent healer, she's not like the strongest Moira. I think Moira, Baptiste are pretty strong. And sometimes I like to pair Moira with Brigitte if I'm on like defense or something. But when playing with another support player, try to, while you're playing the game, see how well they're doing in terms of healing. How well are they at, if they're playing like an Ana in this case, how well are they on getting their healing shots off, nading, sleeping? And if they're pretty good, of course, still fulfill your role. But if you find a little bit of leeway and to do a little bit more damage on the enemy team, and it's effective, by all means do it. But always be ready to swap back to your true role if need be. Here, we did a decent hold. I think they tried to do a little bit of a push here, but we managed to hold them off. Now I'm just kind of shooting my grenades. I saw the Winston jump. I saw it in my mind before it happened, and I was about to call it out, but he was already on there. Here, that was more of a mistake. I should have continued to shoot my healing nades through. However, not seeing anyone in front of me, I decided to switch to damage here, but then the Zarya starts, and then Winston jumps on me. So that was a bit sad on my part. I could have helped in that situation. I also think the Winston genuinely caught us off guard a little bit and took out one of our DPS. And so we were already a man down. Here, the Orisa just decides to run away from us and get 1v1 by a Mercy. And the healer and I got very triggered. We're just like, Orisa, we cannot heal you if you run away from us and get 1v1 by a Mercy. What is wrong with you, boo-boo? Are you okay? No. But the Winston jumps again. He said jump. And we decide to kind of retreat a little bit. However, with the Orisa down, we don't have a shield. We only have a Zarya. Thankfully, they popped Bob out. And I actually decided to take advantage of Bob and kind of keep him alive for as long as possible. Because if you keep Bob alive, that was also a really bad immortality field. Because I didn't throw it on top, I ended up throwing it below. So it got absolutely no use. And it was also a really solid ultimate combo with Gravitic Flux and Deadeye. Oh, I love my life. Oh my god, I feel like I should cut out the times I'm transitioning from like walking, but oh well. Because I'm already recording this, so it just wouldn't work out. But we didn't have a shield Orisa. We were relying kind of on Zarya, but because they threw out the Bob, I thought it would be pretty smart to keep the Bob alive as long as possible, because Bob tends to, intimidate people enough that they don't push forward. Here the Winston jumps right on me, and I decide to just keep spamming damage, because I think that's the only thing. Here the two tanks get on me, I got stunned by the boulder. Zarya came to kind of like try and help me out a little bit, but the tanks jumped the Ana too, so we were really like just cornered. The enemy team had a very strong push, I will say, and we never really got our footing after we got killed by the Gravitic Flux and Deadeye. Here it's kind of a moment of peace, because we did manage to get a couple kills off, and I guess you could say that we got our footing back, but not for long. Spoiler alert. Here I decided to just keep spraying a little bit of the Moira. I didn't really get a whole lot of damage off, so I decided just to swap to healing again. I'm like, you know what, let me just focus on healing rather than trying to damage and not get any use out of it. I tried to throw more immortality field because I saw the Anna. I was like, no, we must keep Anna alive. I got the kill on McCree because he already killed people, so I was like, not much else. So I tried to keep Hog up as much as possible, and then I knew the Reaper was on me. So I tried to go in the room to kind of quarantine off, grab a health pack, and try to 1v1 him. Got kind of middle down, but not enough. This is also a Plat game, by the way, for people's information. And I gotta say, like, watching this back, I'm seeing many mistakes that I'm making. I'm playing way too aggressive in terms of DPS. So this is how not to play Baptiste, typically. Focus on healing. And I know with Baptiste's current buffs to his actual primary fire, you're going to be very tempted to do a lot of damage, but don't forget about the healing. It's kind of like Moira when she gets a damage orb and she starts coalescing and using her primary fire to damage, and you're just like, you're a DPS, Moira, you're supposed to be healing. I'm so confused. It's at this point where I'm like, you know what, screw it. I'm not getting any real kills. Actually, I'm doing gold healing. I was surprised. So, you know, I guess my healing was okay. I was like, I'm not getting a lot of kills off Baptiste. I feel like I'm playing way too aggressive, and I'm having somewhat of a difficult time. And I see that we're in kind of dire straits. So I'm like, let me swap to my main baddie, Moira, because I know how to play Moira. The Roadhog ran out of range of my healing, so I decided to throw an orb. I tried to get the Reaper, but he ran out of sight and my spray didn't catch him in time. Thankfully he wraithed back. Now it's kind of just waiting for the next fight. I decided to throw my damaging orb because I didn't think a lot of people were damaged, but the McCree behind me was actually getting blasted, and I was like, oop. The Reaper tries to drop down again to get a advantage off of us, but he kind of fails at it. He dies, but the Mercy gets the res. And I decided to coalesce here because I feel that this is more of a team fight. This is where things are getting a little heated because a lot of people are here. Gravitic Flux goes out. Oh god. I tried to line of sight the Deadeye, and I thought I did. I thought I could get out, but I, as a matter of fact, could not. And I ended up getting shot in the head. So if I would have managed to dodge that, I think I could have maybe kept more people alive for a bit longer. However, I was looking up trying to heal the Anna, and it kind of threw me for a loop. Here I'm at 13 health, just trying to contest the point as much as possible. Not really working. What was I thinking? I was at 15 health, and I ended up dying. So that was the second round, and then this is the third round. And defense. I think we did a pretty good job. Oh, sorry. I'm yawning. I just woke up. I woke up like 2 hours ago and I'm already yawning. Oh my god. I'm not tired. You know, you just get those slight yawns, especially when talking a while and your body's like, give me more oxygen. Ooh, hello, Rihanna. So we're kind of just setting up for the next defense, and I'm deciding to stick with Moira because I want to win. I really want to win. So Moira Anna is a good combination for support. Anna with very strong heals, granted if she can get them off. And a heal boost, and also Moira with very strong heals. I'm actually excited to see how Anna will be, or how she will fare in the upcoming patch with the reduction to shield health. With shields being destroyed faster, is she going to see a bit more play? Is she going to see a bit more use? This is what I am wondering. Yeah, I'm excited to see. I'm excited to see how more heroes fare with reduced shield health. Sorry about my chair again. For those of you who don't know, I moved into my own apartment finally. Also, I have my links down below. Patreon, if you'd like to send me a donation for PayPal so I can survive and pay for internet. That'd be wonderful. Links down below. I also stream on Twitch, some Guild Wars 2 and Overwatch. Thankfully, we managed to hold them. I had really nothing to commentate because it was just a really lackluster push. I just focused on healing orbs and my left click heal, my primary heal spray. So that's kind of what I was feeling. I forgot to cut this part out before I started recording the narration, so I apologize. Let me quickly pause and then cut. We are back with the final push, and the enemy Moira decided to throw out a damage orb, and we said, no ma'am. So I throw one out too, mostly because we're on the attack and we haven't really received a lot of damage. I thought it was okay to pop it out, but my geometry was bad and I didn't get it to bounce. Speaking of heavy damage, our Reinhardt was blasted. There was a Junkrat trap. I decided to kill it just so no one gets stuck in it. And then we're kind of waiting for the Reinhardt and the Roadhog to get back, considering that we don't have any DPS characters. So it was at this point where I was really freaking out. Our Reinhardt gets back, thankfully, and I'm just trying to heal as much as possible. Healing orb into the wall to get a couple bounces off, and just, you know, continuing to spray. We got a kill off of their enemy Reinhardt, so we decide to push in. We say, it is our point and not yours. And after this, it was pretty good. I got my coalescence very fast, and that was a pretty much game. It was just a pretty nice wipe up after that, so thank you all for watching. Like the video if you liked it. Comment down below your thoughts on my gameplay, your gameplay, some suggestions. If you want to see another hero coming up, which one would you like to see? And I'll see you guys in the next video. All my links down below. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, everyone.